Another episode of the NJ Show. I hope everybody is doing well today. Hope everybody's doing good on this Saturday. It's very rainy and very gloomy in the UK. Very to go outside. So today, instead of going outside and going to play and going to touch grass, we're going to stay indoors and we're going to be talking about the next potential 100x layer 2 coin, which we're going to dive into today. So who have we got in the chat? We've got the usual family in the chat. Very quick shout out. We've got Bobby, we've got Lily, we've got August, we've got a different Bobby, but Bobby again. We've got Mike, we've got Khalil, we've got Abdul, we have got, I can't pronounce your name, but welcome to the show. Frederico, welcome to the show. And we've got Khalil and we have got Jan. All right, fantastic. I can see everybody in the chat. Smash a like on the video if you want to learn more about what this layer 2 coin is going to be. Usually what we do is we do market reviews. We'll do a quick snippet of what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on in the overall market. And we can do that, but maybe we'll do that at the end. All right, what we'll do for now is we're going to talk about the next token that's going to potentially print us a crap load of money. And in fact, what I'll do is just bear with me 1 second, because it does make sense to actually make sense to do the whole Bitcoin thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, it does make sense, because I did say some stuff 2 days ago, which we've got to recap. So let me log into TradingView and let's do this. Okie dokie. BTC USDT. Right. Let me bring up my screen. Okie dokie. So look, very super quick recap. Super quick, because we don't want to waste any time. Yesterday, I said, it wasn't yesterday, it was 2 days ago. I said I wanted this area for Bitcoin to be a deviation potentially. If we were going to break down, we were going to just nuke. Otherwise, if it was going to be a deviation, I would expect it to reclaim back in the range and then potentially go for these highs here, okay, which is highlighted in green. Has it done anything of that sort yet? No, it hasn't. It looked like it was breaking down yesterday. We got to around 28,793 or something like that, but we didn't quite break down. We've come and pushed back up. Now, that consolidation underneath this resistance area remains, and there's just not really much to do right now. If you're already short, then cool. You've got your targets around sort of 27.9K, 28K, call it. If not, if you're not short, then if you were to short, I mean, the invalidation is easy, right? Your invalidation is here. This wick right here, that's your invalidation. So if, I mean, I'm personally not in anything. I did take some shorts earlier on. We made a bit of money off it. I'm waiting at the moment. Either give me a spike up to short or reclaim the range and show me what you want to do. All right. This range has been ongoing for a while now, and I don't at any point in time see us breaking down unless the market just wants to give it to us. I don't see it happening on a Saturday, but we'll see what happens. All right. We'll see what happens. If it does go lower, it could be a good buy the dip opportunity, or it could be the beginning of the breakdown that I've been talking about for a while, or we'll see. We'll trade it as it comes and goes. But that's Bitcoin anyway, just to show you guys where price is really. Hasn't really done much. We're kind of exactly where we were yesterday, give or take $100. All right. Now, the token that I want to focus on today, the conversation piece that we've got today, is going to be Arbitrim. Now, Arbitrim, everybody's heard of it. Everybody's traded it. I understand. I know. I'm in the community. I see all of you play around X, Y, and Z. We all trade Arbitrim. But what is Arbitrim? Who is Arbitrim? How does it work? What makes it an investable token? We need to do some deep diving. Now, we've had little snippets in different episodes where we've spoken about how we're going to dive into these altcoins, but today we're actually going to do a more deeper version of that, all right? So I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to kick it off. The token that we're going to be talking about is Arbitrim. So what is Arbitrim? Let's have a look at the website. This is what we typically do when we're looking at an altcoin. Anybody could bring you any altcoin, and they could say, oh, NJ, look into this for me. Oh, look into that. What do you think of this? Now, we already know that this is on Binance. We already know that this is trading on all the major exchanges. We get it. Most of the time, that won't be the case. But this is the typical blueprint of what I do when I start looking into a protocol or start looking into a project. All right. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to go to the Arbitrim website. Okay. And here we go. We've got Arbitrim. And what I want to do is when I'm looking at this site, I want it to be something that can sell itself to me. Okay. So secure scaling for Ethereum. Okay. We know that we do have problems with Ethereum at the top of the bull market. We know that the gas fees become ridiculous. It becomes very difficult to operate on Ethereum. We know that it can also be a little bit slow as well during those very, very busy periods. So Arbitrum comes and says, oh, we're a layer 2, we're built on top of Ethereum, and we're a secure scaling solution for Ethereum. So what already it's doing here is it's showing me that it's trying to work in line with ETH as opposed to being its own thing. It's saying, look, I know you're the king, but I've come to, revamp and refurbish the kingdom. Makes complete sense. All right. At the top straight away, they've got their selling points, total value locked, nearly $6 billion. That's a very, very good number. Roll up market share is 60%. Total users, 9.4 million people. The thing is, when we're looking at an altcoin, a lot of people straight away ask, what utility does this token have? Or what is this token going to do for me? Or why do they need to have a token? But at the same time, what you need to understand is when you're looking at layer 1s and layer 2s, you don't have to think exactly like that. There's another question you can ask. And that question should be, how many people are actually using the bridge, using the chain? I could build a layer 2 tomorrow. You guys could build a layer 2 tomorrow. It's not that difficult to spin a contract up for a token to be launched, right? But how many people are actually using that chain? And according to this website, this is their official website, 9.4 million plus users. And the amount of transactions that they've all done, if you were to do those transactions on the Ethereum network, it would cost you $2.3 billion more than it did on the Arbitrum network. So already we're seeing some strong selling points. And here we have Arbitrum Nitro. Accelerate your business with Nitro. Arbitrum One and Nova, those are two separate subjects that we might have to cover later on, but it's not super important right now. Those are just those are part of what the product does. But if we're going to be investing in it as a potential layer 2, we need to look into it as if we're looking at a layer 2 from a bird's eye perspective. So we don't need to worry too much about that. More on the website. It tells you more of a transaction, how a transaction looks. We can get nerdy if we really want to, but there's absolutely no need. We're going to do the exact same process that we did the other day. We're going to continue looking at the website until we get to who's actually running the show. Okay, now we've got a bit here. I've got a bit more stuff on these founders, which we'll go in on in a second. You can click the link right here and it takes you there. Underneath that, we've got Arbitrum News. These are the events that are coming up and what cities they're going to be in, current programs, careers, so you can apply for a job at Arbitrum. It looks like your standard quality website. It's not too much, it's not too little. It gives you what you need. You know, you're not going to go on the website and look for videos and stuff like that. What you want is something that's direct and it tells you exactly what it does. Now, obviously, we have to then do our due diligence to go and see if this is true. You know, they can say that there's 9.4 million people using it, but we've got to make sure that they actually, it's real and it's not just a made up number. So just remember, guys, that this is not a sponsored episode. All right. I'm not being sponsored for this. This is our own research, myself and Murtaza. Murtaza is the backbone of In It for the Tech. If this was a sponsored partnership, I would say it was a sponsored partnership, but this one isn't. So let's move on to who is behind the building of Arbitrum. More into our research as we dig in. As we dig in, we find out what we need to find, right? So if we go here, we can see that we've got the three founders. If I zoom in a little bit here for you, it tells you a bit more about them. Ed Felton, Steve Godfrey, Feder, and Harry Caladana. So I'm not sure if I pronounced any of those names correctly, but what I can say is we've got faces and we've got names to go off. So we can go and research more of that if we need to. But in this particular instance, it's not going to be super important given that it's already trading on Binance, given that it's already established itself. What we're looking for is we're looking for a massive buy the dip opportunity, which we'll go into in a little while. And we're going to see if these are people that we can actually bet on. If these are people that we can actually bet on, we shouldn't see less than a 10x or a 20x. We shouldn't see less than that. Can it go to 100x? We'll talk about that more at the end of the episode. So stick around. There's over 100 people here. You know I like to get 100 likes on the show. We're at 35. Let's get to 100 likes. I'm going to join you right now. Boom. Like the video. All right? Let's do it. Let's get it going. So here are the founders. All right? Now, this particular part, I want you to pay attention and listen to this. In the last episode that we did, I specifically told everybody, I said, look, we have to follow the smart money. Okay? Not necessarily smart money, but smarter than us. Do you know what I mean? They know what's going to pump more than we know what's going to pump. We try to catch the train. These guys are the ones that help build the train tracks. Okay? I'm not saying that they're all good people or bad people. We don't have to go into the details of that. But what we do know is that when some of these names that you're looking at here, when certain names like this appear on your project and you're looking to invest, you want to see these names. For example, at the very top, we've got Pantera. You want to see that. Polychain Capital. You've got Coinbase Ventures, DeFi Alliance, Delphi Digital, OKX, which is only second to Binance. Think about how big OK Exchange are. You know, that's a whole separate episode as to what they're doing, how big they are, what they plan to achieve in the next cycle, etc., etc. You've got Mark Cuban's company that invested in Arbitrim. You've got Samsung, which have invested into Arbitrum. Well, Samsung next. I hope that's the Samsung I'm thinking. Let's click on it. It doesn't let you click on it, right? But that's what they've got there. So ultimately, we've got some pretty strong names that have invested into Arbitrum. Okay, so already I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, okay, now I know how you got onto Binance. Because think about it, guys, all right? When you're investing in a project, or if you're going to invest big in a project and you speak to the project and you say to them, hey, I'd like to invest in you, they're going to turn around and say, hi, we appreciate that you want to invest, but what's in it for us? What can you bring to the table? We know that we've got a good product. We know that our product is going to work. We believe in it. What is in it for us? Have you got any connections? Have you got any people that you know in the space that might be able to sort of help us grow even further? And all these partners that you see on the page right now, all of these partners do that in some way, exchange or form. In some way or form, they do that. Okay, I don't know what that English was. For example, look at OKX. Arbitrum is trading on OKX. We find out that, you know, OKX was an investor. It's not really hard to put the two and two. Do you see what I mean? So already that volume is there. Now, that was the main part of this slide. We've seen the website. We know who's built it. We know who's behind it now. So how does Arbitrum work? So how Arbitrum works, okay? You've got the Ethereum network. This is the base layer where all transactions and smart contracts take place. Ethereum is the home, like it's your home. You know, when it's a super rainy day right now. You're outside of the house right now. You're trapped in that rain. You're on your way home, and all you're thinking about whilst you're going through this rain is, damn, I want to be home. The moment you get home and you shake your umbrella off and you're taking off your jacket, you know that warmth that you get when you're home? It's not perfect. It's not your dream house. It's just home, though. I don't know if that's the best example, but that's the example I'm giving. I'm hoping everybody can understand. Bear with me, okay? ETH is the home. That's where everything is built. That's where, you know, most of the projects that we invest in going forward are going to be built on, you know, ETH. Now, we know that ETH becomes congested, it gets expensive during the peak of the bull market. I remember once I had a gas fee that was like $6,000 or something. I didn't pay it. I was like, I'd rather just wait. But I saw gas fees that were going crazy. With things like with Arbitrim, it's built on top of Ethereum, acting as a second layer solution that helps reduce congestion and fees. So already, as you're looking at the Arbitrum chain, already people are thinking, well, I'm not really leaving Ethereum to go to Arbitrum. I'm kind of using Arbitrum in unison with Ethereum. Yes, it's a completely different chain that's built on top of ETH, but you know, it's for the cause. One's a granddad, one's a grandson. All right, think of it like that. Now, we've got the smart contracts and the VMs. Parties can implement a smart contract as a virtual machine that encodes the contract's rules. Those VMs are programs that run on the Arbitrum virtual machine. So this is again saying in a very smart way, it's saying the Arbitrum is built on top of ETH. Okay, so we've got Ethereum here. We know what you do, ETH. We're going to do what you're doing, but we're going to build on top of you, and we're going to figure out all the holes that you've got in your system, all the bugs that you've got in your system. Anything that makes it difficult for the user, we're going to try and fix it. And whatever token that launches on the Ethereum side later down the line, we'll see if we can bridge that to Arbitrum to have it traded on there as well. This is a win for everybody. This is a win for everybody. Okay? The reason this is a win for everybody is because, say, for example, you invest in a token. You invest in a token and you say, oh, one of the things that you're going to be looking for is listings. Anything that you find listing on one exchange or another exchange or another exchange, you're going to get bullish every time you see a new listing. But imagine, for example, you get your favorite token, it lists on Uniswap, and then it goes to Sushi Swap, and then it goes to BSC, Pancake Swap, and then it goes to Polyswap or Quick Swap or whichever one it is. And then now it goes to Arbitrum as well. So that's more volume, more daily users, people using the chain, and you're going to get a lot more trading activity on the chain as well, which will change the original number that we saw right here, where it says 9.4 million users. Automatically, as your project is launching, the one that you believe in, the one that you're getting excited about, that all goes to Arbitrum as well. Okay, so that's what that's talking about. Optimistic rollups. Arbitrum uses a technique called optimistic rollups to further improve the network's efficiency. These rollups batch multiple transactions together into a single transaction, significantly reducing the data that needs to be stored on chain. What that means is, I'm not giving you the exact number, but if ETH can do one transaction at a certain time without utilizing a certain amount of the network, Arbitrum can do it in 1/10, for example. All right. So automatically, if I say to somebody in the chat, oh, can you send me 10 USDT, please? You can ask me which network I want to have it sent on. More likely, over the next couple of years, I might choose Arbitrum, simply because it's the new hot topic. And they're trying to do what all the other layer 2s and layer 1s have done. They're all trying to break down that cost and that speed. This is cryptocurrency, right? You want your money to come to you as quick as possible, as cheap as possible, and you want to be anywhere in the world. If I'm in the Amazon rainforest, as long as I've got internet, please, and you're in Japan or you're in Australia or you're in Saudi Arabia or wherever you are, you need to be able to send my money to me quickly, at ease, at convenience, and at speed. And that's what these layer 2s are trying to do. Okay? Challenge step. After a roll-up block is published, there is a challenge period during which other validators can check the correctness of the block. If they believe it is wrong, they can issue a challenge. If the challenge is proven to be incorrect or a challenge is proven unjustified, the lying validator will have their stake confiscated. So look, I'm not saying that this is AI. Okay? I know that this is not the level of AI, but it is doing the if and when at the best it can do for the limitations it has. All right. So again, whenever if anybody's trying to DDoS this, or if anybody's trying to target this chain or to try and congest it or clog it up, for example, this challenge step will allow us to have protection. Okay. So you don't feel completely safe, but you feel more safe as you go along. All right. Now, in a picture, this is what Arbitrum looks like. You've got the ETH layer that sits on the outside, layer 1, and within that, on top of it, you've got the Arbitrum layer with the smart contracts and the VMs. Alongside it, you've got the optimistic rollups, and you've got the challenge step. Do you know what? Someone's got a good question here. NJ, are you sure the OKX is the name of the crypto platform. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're right. I think you're actually right. I need to look into that. I need to just double check, but I think that you're right. It's OKX. You're right. You're right. I think you're right. So what's OKEX then? I need to go back and look into that. I need to go back and look. It can be a bit confusing, but that is typically anyway how Arbitrum works. So now we've covered Arbitrum from the stand front. Okay, we've covered who's built it. We now know how it works, but that is not enough to tell you to spend money on it. It doesn't mean anything. Yes, it sounds very promising, but if we're going to put money on the table and if we're going to actually be investing and we're looking for 10 to 100x or whatever, we're going to need to do a bit more digging. So the next question that I've got then, in part of our detective theory here, that was a bit nerdy. Token unlocks. Now, do you know what, guys? Let me tell you something real quick, yeah? This is where it gets sticky. This is where it gets, you're so optimistic about a token. Little do you know that there's 90% of the supply that's coming over the course of the next 12 months. And you want to invest. You really believe in the project and you really want to invest. You really want it to grow. However, you're stuck because you don't know if these token unlocks are going to destroy the project. Now, if you're going to invest in a project, and we will cover loads of these as we go into the next 2 years, we're together now. So please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the show and keep your notifications on. I mean it. We're together for the next 2 years now. It's going to be fun. Some days are going to be good. Some days are going to be bad, but we're going to try and smash a couple of 100Xs. We're not going to, for those who know NJ and you're not new, those know, innit? They know. So look, with Arbitrim, we currently have 49% unlocked, which means that there's around 51% still looking to launch onto the market. Now, is this a problem? Yes, it is. But at the same time, in our context, it might not be. It might not be. And bear with me as I try and break this down. Now, when it comes to these token unlocks, one thing that you don't want is for large amounts of the supply to be coming onto the market every month. Okay? Now, the previous token release was on the 17th of April. So they're not doing it every month anyway. They're doing it every, quarter or whatever. That's how they seem to be doing it, or every 2 quarters. I'm not 100% sure. But ultimately, given that there's 51% left coming onto the market, I want that number to reduce as much as possible to guarantee me the returns I'm looking for. All right? Or not guarantee me, but to help support the returns I'm looking for. So if we go back to TradingView for a second, right? And we look at Arbitrim, okay? We look at Arbitrim on the daily time frame. How does this look? How does this look? Well, how low can Arbitrim go? Let's just have a peek, okay? Let's have a peek and see how low Arbitrim can go. Let's do it the other way. Let's do it the other way. How low can Arbitrim go? There's one level that's missing right here in the middle. Let me just draw it. To be honest with you guys, I think that's how low Arbitrim can go. I think that I would love to time Arbitrim with the tail end of accumulation. If you don't know what accumulation is and you're new to the show, you might want to go back 1 or 2 episodes. I've covered it a couple of times on the show now. All right. So I think personally, if I was to be betting on Arbitrim, the first thing I would say is under $1, you've got my interest. Under 90 cents specifically, you're looking at all-time lows. Okay? I would say somewhere between 50 to 60 cents is where I'd buy Arbitrum. I'd love it to do something like this, like this, and then really just start going. I would love it to do something like that. I'm betting for 50 to 60 cents. Underneath $1, I'm going to start scaling in. Okay. But we have to talk more about how this is going to unfold. If I think we're going to have a drop anyway over the coming months, that means that I've got time to accumulate. If I've already made the decision that I'm not going to be buying until below $1, by default, although it's only 10% away, I now know that I can time it with these unlocks as well. Whenever you've got an unlock, you wait and monitor the price, see how price behaves when those tokens are hitting the market. Because what are private sellers going to do? They're going to get their unlock and they're probably just going to sell their token. You can't really blame them for it. It's, they've woken up in the morning and they've got tokens over an investment that they deemed was right at the time. So we can't say anything, but we can use it to benefit us. Do you see what I mean? What we do is, as these tokens are being unlocked and as price is declining, we're getting closer and closer to that next stage of the cycle. For me, the next stage of the cycle, and I would love for this to be replayed in 6 to 9 months, I think we're going to have a proper good year in 2024. I think 2024 is going to be a fantastic year for crypto. Even if it's not the early stages of 2024, the middle and the end, I think will be really, really fun in crypto. I think we're really going to be rocking in this community, especially. All right. So I think that by the time we look to start investing into Arbitrim anyway, I think that this 49%, 51% fraction will be a lot different. And I think that there'll be a lot more tokens on the market. We can make a decision then as to whether or not we want to take a position or not. All right. As always, this is not financial advice. This is just me talking about a project which I think has the potential to do it. You're going to decide whether or not you want to take that buy. So right now, although you're listening to my voice, you're in the driver's seat, okay? And you're rocking it. You're doing very well. So as we go down, we see more about how this is distributed, okay? You see that the Arbitrim DAO has 42% of that locked supply, which I imagine is going to be going out over the course of the longevity of the project. You've got the team, which holds 27% of the project. You've got investors, which hold 17.5%. Individual wallets that have 11.6%. And then you've got this one here called DAOs and Arbitrim, which are different governance groups underneath Arbitrim. Now, this is a really good distribution, if I'm honest with you. Really, really good, because even on the investors' side, they only asked for 17.5% worth of investment. So it didn't take them as much as, on other tokens, some of these percentages go up to like 40-45%, it can get really wild like that. Yeah, big time. So seeing 17.5% is good. Individual wallets, that's a tough one. It's a tough one to really gauge where those tokens go. It could be close friends, it could be close investors. Literally, like if I'm launching a project and I know one of you guys and we're really, really close and we've been together for a while or whatever as friends, you can say, look, hook me up with some tokens and I can send you some tokens just as a gesture of goodwill. And then that's how you get the individual wallets. It builds up, it really does. But 11.6% is quite a bit. I imagine there will be one or two holders that have, the big chunks. And then it tells you more, about how these tokens are locked. You've got the investors, how many years, 4-year lockups, 4-year lockups again. And then you've got the Arbitrim DAO Treasury, which sits at the top here, and dependent on the approval of the governance DAO through a voting process. So there will be, as long as you're holding Arbitrim tokens, I imagine you'll be allowed to vote in as part of this voting process. So there we go. Now, in regards to Arbitrim, we have to remember that this was an airdrop. This wasn't a token that just was launched as a private sale. Many people got this airdrop. What do you mean bot? What's going on? Oh yeah, there's a bot in the chat. Yeah, sorry about that. What's going on in the chat? Okay, sorry about that, guys. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay. Well, 1 second, guys. 1 second. Sorry, let me deal with this in the chat right now. It looks like there's something going on in the chat, and I do apologize. Bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. It's really annoying. Hold on. I don't know what's going on either. Mac, I'm gonna have to remove you as an administrator just for the moment. Okay, you guys got it, yeah? Okay, all right, cool, cool. Let's get on with the show. Cool, thanks for that. So we look at Arbitrum and we look at the fact that it's an airdrop. Now, with the airdrop, so many people got this token. There was at least 5,000 people that got this token. All right. Now, since the airdrop came out, when we've got an airdrop, what do we usually look at when it comes to an airdrop? Well, when it comes to an airdrop, number one, the first thing I think of is free tokens. Okay. Number two, if I'm going to think about what an airdrop is, I'm going to think, I've got an opportunity to sell some free tokens. That's more money for me. Do you know what I mean? Everybody, when you get a free airdrop or a giveaway, you win anything, isn't it the best feeling to just go and sell that? Because you've just made money that day. You're up. You could buy a PS5 that day. The people who got the pre-sale for this, the people who got the airdrop for this, they had done really, really well. Now, this is the weird thing about the airdrop. This is the weird thing. And bear with me one moment. More specifically, yeah, there we go. There we go. More specifically, with this airdrop, and I don't know if anybody noticed, the airdrop happened, people were talking about Arbitrum, and then as time went on, more users came onto Arbitrum. So I told you that there were 4,000 or 5,000 people. No, it wasn't. I think it was 500,000. I think it was 500,000 people that got the airdrop. But at the same time, if we look at the website, we've now got 9.4 million users. So that means when I'm looking at this from an FA perspective, I'm thinking to myself, okay, hold on a second. So it was airdropped to 500,000 people, but now we've got 20 times the users using it today. Why is that? And if price is trending to the downside, and we've got users that are consistently being onboarded onto the project, this could potentially be a very big buying opportunity. You know? But I'll tell you what my price points are at the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'll take a couple of questions and I'll tell you what my price point is, where I think it's going in price. So look, if you haven't already, we are at 66 likes, 67 likes. We need 33 more to get to 100. Smash up the likes if you don't mind. And please, if you're new to the channel, we do stream quite often. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. It is for free and it is a kind thing to do. If you're watching this recorded, same thing. All right. We're going to have more episodes, loads more episodes like this. So if you're enjoying it, especially, then yeah, I do need to brush up a little bit on my communication when it comes to these streams. It's a little bit difficult. I haven't done them in a while. So I do appreciate everybody's patience. And I know that I can get better. I can be a bit more direct, but it will happen. It will happen. Give me some time. Now, I've already spoken about the airdrop and how users were growing after the airdrop, up to 20x in users over the airdrop. Okay, that's a big deal. It means that more people are seeing demand for Arbitrum. All right. Now, if we look at the bridges, this is something that gets a little bit complicated. It starts looking a little bit nerdy, but it's important to just, have a quick peek at it. If you have a quick peek at it like this, you can say, well, now I understand more as to why Arbitrum is needed in the space. Now, if you look, we've got the ZK Sync bridge. ZK Sync just recently came out. It's got 1,220,000 users, not users, $1,220,000 that have been bridged across the bridges between any other chain and ZK Sync. If you look at Arbitrum, you've got 2.7 million that's transacted between other chains and Arbitrum. If you look at Optimism, it's only 578k. If you look at Starknet, it's only 184k compared to the 2.7 million on Arbitrum. So we're starting to build a case now. We're saying, well, NJ, do you know what, bro? It's in a downtrend. The bull market isn't quite here yet. We've begun our research, but the bull market isn't quite here. We've got 10 million users nearly on the product. We've got the most out of the other layer twos, in comparison to ZK Sync and Optimism, it's got way more transactions than those. In terms of who built the team, we've got a solid team because they've managed to get us on Binance. Fair enough. And we've already discovered where it sits in the food chain. It sits on top of Ethereum. Now we're looking at the token unlocks. We're noticing that it's already halfway through. Considering this is going to be a 1 to 2 year investment, it's okay. I think it's fine. I think by the time we're really looking to invest, by the time we're looking to cash out anyway, because we're going to have to sell at some point, I think that we can bypass that. Now, if there was 90% of the supply left that was to come out, that would be different. At the same time, now that we've got these bridge statistics, we move on and we say, okay, what about oh no, this is the airdrop status. I apologize. This is the airdrop status. So the total amount of people that got the airdrop was 625,000. I mixed up my tabs. I apologize. It takes a lot of work to put these streams together. I mixed up my tabs. But here is the total people that got it. And now, as you can see on the main website, it's 9.4 million anyway. So it does make sense. It does collaborate. You've seen it's grown roughly around 18 to 20x in terms of users. All right, going back to that real quick here with the bridge. Now that we've got the bridge and we can see that Arbitrim is being used the most, we can move on and look at the total value locked. So what is the TVL for Arbitrim? How much people have locked money into Arbitrim? Does it make sense? Is it worth your time to lock money into Arbitrim? We've got nearly $2 billion worth of tokens that are locked into the Arbitrim ecosystem. That is fantastic. Once again, that shows demand. Now, even if you don't quite understand the number 2 billion, you don't need to, because you have a chart right here to show you what the TVL has looked like. When Arbitrim launched, the TVL was growing. It did slow down a little bit as we got into July and last year. But now that we're in 2023, look what's happened since the beginning of 2023. Since the beginning of 2023, we've only climbed. We haven't gone lower. The trend is to the upside for TVL locked. Now, you guys know what's going on in the financial system, in the traditional markets with the rate hikes and, inflation and stuff like that. What's going to happen when that starts going to the other side and money starts coming back into crypto and we go back into risk on mode? Don't you think that this is only going to grow from there? That's my opinion anyway. All right. Now, if we were to look at, for example, Optimism is in the same place as Arbitrim. We can see that the total value locked for Optimism has continuously grown over the course of 2022 and 2023. But when you're comparing it to how much is locked compared to Arbitrim, it's less than half. 870 million versus 2 billion, it's less than half. So already you're saying to yourself, all right, what's the market cap of Arbitrim? What's the market cap of Optimism? What makes sense to invest in over Optimism? What makes sense to invest in over Arbitrim? You'll quickly find that Arbitrim sits at the top. There's a reason we're covering it first. We could have covered many altcoins first, but we're covering Arbitrim first. There's a reason for that. I think it's going to be one of the big ones in the next cycle. All right. Typically as well, you've got here Blockworks research. What does my note say about this? I've got some notes here. What does my note say about this? I think this is the revenue usage. So again, this is not, you don't have to break every single chart down the way we've been doing it, but mainly and truly just to see the revenue usage between Arbitrim and Optimism. So, this is getting a bit boring now. This is getting a bit nerdy. I think we've got enough at this stage. How are you guys finding the episode? Could you guys give me some feedback in the chat? What are your thoughts so far? Am I waffling? Am I making sense? Do you understand why I'm saying what I'm saying here with Arbitrim? Or do you think that I need to cover a bit more? You guys let me know. I would love some feedback from everybody, really and truly. But in terms of the bridges, it's being used heavily here. You can see that Arbitrum sits at the top of the other ones. This purple one here is Polygon, right? So Arbitrum isn't nearly where Polygon is. Polygon would be the main competitor for Arbitrum. That's what would happen. Polygon versus Arbitrum could be a big one in the next cycle. You know? Now, again, like it looks like we're in some science lab or something. Look, I think we've got enough. I think we've got enough. So pretty much so that's your 40 minutes on Arbitrum. Again, I would love to know what you guys think in the chat. I'm happy to start looking at some comments as well. Let's look at some comments. That was a bit weird. It was a bit tough for me presenting, to be honest. But yeah, look, we've got a comment here. You're actually showing us how to do your research. Yeah. That was the plan. I wanted to show you guys what I sit and do when I'm looking at some of these altcoins, and there's a lot more than that as well we can do. But off the bat, you know, when you're in crypto long enough, you can look at stuff like this and say, I can make a decision as to whether or not I want to make an investment or not, you know? So let's see some of these comments. Great last 2 episodes. You communicate your thought process really well. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. El Nickerman says, all I want to know is when you're going to swim in that pool behind. Haters will say it's a green screen. Yeah, look, listen, people will say this is fake. Even I would say this is fake. Even I believe this is fake. But I'll leave that for you lot to decide. I'll leave that for you. You know? Expected price for Arbitrum and Polygon in the next bull market. That's a fantastic question. I wanted somebody to ask me that question. I wanted somebody to. Where does NJ see Arbitrum going in the next cycle? Now, honestly, I think this can conservatively do $10. Conservatively. Think about it like this, okay? Since we're going back into chat mode now, let's think about it like this. Solana was at $1 and Liz said to me, get Solana. I want to buy Solana at $1. At the time, if you told me that Solana was going to go to $20, I would have believed you. If you told me $30, I would have said, If you told me $40, I would have said, I'm not sure. $50, whoa. Do you know Solana went to $240? There were other coins as well. You know, there were other coins as well, which I've seen in the past. Guys, think about it. Floki was $4 million. It was a $4 million market cap coin, and it went to $3.5 billion market cap. Nobody can anticipate that at the time. But if you're going to pick something and you're going to look for those kind of gains, you're going to want to look and research into what you think has the best opportunity to do that. And with Arbitrum, as I said, I'm really looking for that sort of 50 to 60 cent marker. If I drag this fib out and I bring it somewhere here, hold on. If I take the listing, what if I take the listing? Oh, that's annoying. So if I do this and I do that as the range high, all right, fuck that. Ignore it. Anyway, I think 50 to 60 cents is where I see Arbitrum going, somewhere along those lines. Maybe we might have a flash into a little bit lower, but at the same time, this is what I'm betting on in terms of layer 2s. We'll look at layer 1s in another episode, but for layer 2s, it's going to be Arbitrum. I think that, $10 is conservative. Can it go higher? Yes. Will it probably go higher? Yes. Can we guess what prices? Can we guess $50 or $60? Look, because of what I've seen in the last cycle, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to say it can't do it, but it can do a 20 to 30x minimum. Okay, so if you was to buy a position at 50 cents, not because of me, but because of yourself, but if you was to buy a position at 50 to 60 cents, I would not see a reason why we couldn't exit some at $10, some at 20, some at 30, some at 40, some at 50. I could see it because each cycle you have a new wave of altcoins. For example, in the last cycle, we had Solana, we had Matic, Polygon. In this next cycle, we're going to have Arbitrum. We're going to have other tokens as well, which I could mention now, but this episode is about Arbitrum, so we'll keep it to Arbitrum. Let's see some of the more comments. I like this account, Jord LUFC. Layer 1 seem to do the biggest runs because they offer the biggest disruption. Yeah, I agree. Layer 1s and layer 2s layer 2s as well, not just layer 1s, but layer 1s and layer 2s, they're going to be the biggest killers in early in the next cycle. So for example, towards the end of the year, as we start seeing money coming back into crypto, as we start getting closer to the Bitcoin halving, we're going to see opportunities like Arbitrum appear on the market, and there'll only be a handful of them. These ones are going to be the ones that go to brand new all-time highs. It won't be so much Solana, in my opinion. It won't be so much Matic. It won't be so much AVAX. It will be Arbitrum and other coins as well, because it's disruptive. Bro, can you get Wiz and Capo on the show? I would love to have them on the show, man. I would love it. Super love it. What else have we got in here? All I know is I should have followed you sooner. Great stuff, NJ. Oh, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. We have got some kind comments in the chat. If there's anything that you guys want to say or anything that you guys want to mention in reference to Arbitrum or in reference to price or tokenomics or anything that you saw, or if you haven't smashed a like on the video yet, we're 21 away from 100, then please feel free to get involved. Optimism, that will be a different episode. Did ZK Sync just come out? Yes, recently, very recently. Buy at 30 cents and sell it at $30. That's a good plan. Honestly, if 30 cents can't... Look, between me and you, I think that anything under $1 is going to be good for Arbitrum. Anything under $1. I don't know if we're going to get all the way to 50, 60 cents. And I definitely feel less likely that we're going to get to 30 cents. But what I do know is that under $1, you're looking at 10x, 20x, 30x. Do you see what I mean? Anything under $1. Personally, I do believe that at 50 cents, 60 cents is where I really, really, really want to get in, But below $1, I'd start scaling in. Even if I don't take it, the advice I'm giving is under $1. That's when you want to start accumulating. It doesn't mean take 50 grand on a loan and throw it into Arbitrum underneath $1. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have your portfolio, you take a percentage of that portfolio and you say, this is my risk. This is what I'm willing to lose. This is what I feel comfortable putting towards it. This is how long I intend to hold it. I'm looking for a 10, 20, 30x. If you're sitting on a 30x because NJ told you to buy Arbitrum and you don't take some profits, you don't take something off the table, at some stage, it will go back down. It's not going to go up forever. If I say that I think this coin has the potential to go to $50, once it gets to $50, you've got to, not close the entire position. What I'm saying is you've got to take profits on the way up. And when it gets to 50 specifically, you've got to take a big chunk off because that's what you were targeting. What most people do is the project will do 50x, 60x or whatever, and they won't take profit. It's mad. They won't. They'll put 1K, they'll have a portfolio of $1,000. They'll put 1K into a project. The project will do a 50x. They'll have 50K. That's 50 times their whole portfolio, and they won't take profit. They won't. They'll be like, bro, this coin is going up, fam, watch. And then if it goes down, they round trip it all the way back down. They don't even take profits back on the way down. Just buy the dip, bro. Buy the dip. Let's get that dip, bro. It's still dipping, my bro. It doesn't, no coins go up forever. Like, you have to remember that. Good question here again. I'm really liking you, QZ. You're asking really good questions. Do you think our market cap can go to 30 billion? It's at 1.45 billion now. Do you know why I like that question a lot? Because at 1.45 billion, it's a very high market cap. Even if I said that it was going to go 50% lower than it is right now at some stage in Q4, don't you think that it's still a very high market cap. Let's say 1 billion market cap. It's still a lot. But you see, if we go to coin market cap, right? If we look at the market caps that we've got here of one of its competitors, BNB is one of the competitors. BNB is at 37 billion market cap right now. Now, I think BNB is going to go to a lot higher prices in the future. I think people don't realize that every market that we have, every time we have a new bull market, it's always bigger than the previous one, you know? And if BNB's at 37 billion right now, even if it was, I could see it doing a 5x from these prices, BNB. I genuinely can. So if I can see BNB doing 5x these prices, then why can't I see Arbitrim doing a 30x to catch up to BNB? It's doable. I think it's really doable. I think it's doable to go to 50 billion. I'm not joking. I've seen it before. BNB, what was the all-time high for BNB? The all-time high for BNB was $634. So the market cap for BNB was over double what it is, triple nearly triple, 2.5x, just to be fair, right? We'll meet in the middle. What's 37 billion times 2.5x? You're looking at nearly 100 billion anyway, is what I'm saying for the next cycle. So that's a lot of money coming into crypto. You have to remember that the masses are learning about crypto now. There are a lot of people coming into crypto. There's all sorts of people coming into crypto, but they're not coming in today. They're not coming in right now. Right now, the only people coming into crypto, or the only people that are paying attention to crypto, are the smart people who are researching because you want to make 100x. Look, this is how it goes in crypto. Next year, after you've made your 100x, that's when your cousin's going to phone you and say, yo, bro, what you saying, man? Bro, I'm looking into this crypto thing. I know you done well on it. What's the next coin? Meantime, more time, you've already made a couple of 100x's. Your portfolio is so deep already at that point. I don't mean to be bad to your cousin, but I just mean that, exit liquidity exists all across the board. People who want to study now are the people that are going to make 100x in the next cycle. People that want to study now are people that are going to see and reap the rewards, because you're investing at a time when nobody wants to invest. And we're betting on a risk on scenario for next year. And if that risk on scenario does come, I really, really believe nobody's prepared for how explosive crypto is going to be. It's going to be very, very explosive, which is why I always tell you guys, subscribe to the channel, because it will be explosive. There's going to be so many coins to cover. I'm covering Arbitrim today. In the bull market, there'll be a coin to cover every single day. That's how explosive crypto will be, you know? Do we have any other questions? Let's have a look. If not, I'm going to shoot. We are 16 likes away from 100 likes. Can we get there? Can anybody in the chat find a way to help us get there? It would be nice to get to 100 likes before I end the show. If there's any other questions at all, or if there's anything else that you guys want to look at. I know this is an ARB stream, but KDA, do you know what? I'll tell you what, when I do the next stream, we can have a look at KDA, all right? Or DM me on Twitter or something like that, and I'll look at KDA. But for now, let's keep it odd. Let's keep it ARB related just for now. If not, I'm gonna shoot. Warry says, first time joining your live show. I appreciate you, mate. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed it, then it'd be good to see you on the next one as well. Smash up the likes, KAR Crypto. Appreciate you, bro. It's been a while since I've seen you. Thank you for tuning into the show. KAR's a good guy. Follow him on Twitter. He's going to do really, really well in the next cycle. He's a trader. Really, really focuses on his price action. Lots of time on his price action. Bro, what about low cap gems that are not on Binance? Yes, of course. Of course, Hannibal. Of course, we're going to be covering low cap gems that are not on Binance. That's what we're here for. That's where you get the real 2, 3, 400x's. But today's episode was on Arbitrim. Look, at the end of the day, you have to remember that there's going to be a lot of people who want to trade cryptocurrency, but they don't want to trade too risky. So rather than buying on a DEX, they'll want to buy on a centralized exchange. Rather than buying a low cap token, they want to buy a higher cap token, because they want their investments to go up slower. They want their investments to be more secure. They want their investments to be more liquid, i.e., they can sell as many times as they need or whatever, and it won't affect the price or the chart, and it will be very liquid. There's a lot of reasons why it was important to cover Arbitrim today. You know, Arbitrim is a very, very good bet. If you haven't bet on Arbitrim yet, rewatch the video, see what you think. There's a lot of reasons to bet on Arbitrim in the next cycle. And to be honest, Murtaza can explain this a lot better than I can. You know, way, way better than I can. You know, so that's something for us to look into. Anything else in the chat before I shoot? We have got VRA. I mentioned VRA. Look, this is a stream about ARB, so we'll talk about VRA in another stream. But yes, VRA is a good token. Hey, we got Trader SC in the chat. Really, really love that. Really love that. Thank you, SC, for joining. For those of you who don't know, if you're new, Trader SC is my mentor. He taught me a lot of stuff in the space. I would not know how to even look at a chart had it not been from Trader SC. Yeah, we went through our journey. We rode the whole cycle, last cycle together as well. It was super fun. Really, really, really good guy. He's taught most of the people in the space price action. Follow him on Twitter as well. Yeah, all right, cool. So I'm going to shoot off, everybody. Cheers. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Smash a like on the video if you don't mind. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one, all right? Cheers.